I grew up as a Catholic, never once saw a Bible, never had a Bible. So I never engaged in religious conversations because I was too ashamed to admit that I didn't know the first thing about what was in the Bible. I had a neighbor, and I didn't know she was praying for me, that I would accept God into my life. So she started telling me about these classes she was taking, and I immediately said, no, I'm not interested in church, anybody's church. But I said it nicely, and she kind of went, well, it's really not a church. So I started to listen. And as a matter of fact, everybody that goes to these classes come from all sorts of different churches. The only thing is that you have to believe in God. I said, well, I can handle that part. And it was my doorway to going into finding out about the Women's Life Fellowship. So I finally agreed. And that, that first night, I was amazed at all the women and, the various backgrounds and everything that they do. Deanna came to my home, and she said that she was waiting for me to argue. Well, how can that happen? Well, I was like, okay, all right, because it seemed that what I was reading felt right. It was true. I had no reason to disbelieve what I was reading. So we were getting to the point. Now, I didn't know that there was a part that, to see if I was ready to accept Christ. But Deanna knew we were getting to that point. So, and I had a real fear of commitment because of my personal family background. And I was afraid of them. That's the reason what kept me from making any decision or choice. So that one afternoon, it must have been our second time, I think, she got to that point, and I said, I need to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And she knew when I came back, she's going to accept Christ. And as soon as she said it, I said, okay, what do I need to do? She says, I beg your pardon? I said, I'm ready. And she goes, okay, well, so she walked me through it. And ever since then, it's been the best day of my life. So, and that day I accepted Christ as my Savior. If and I'm 57 years old, and I have been looking and trying, and just nothing was registering. Nothing was there, but, if it hadn't been for this Women's Life Fellowship, I would still be out there wondering, what it is I needed. And it was right there. I just didn't have the right group of people around me that took an interest in me and didn't, I was concerned about what I didn't know and how embarrassed I was. That was my biggest fear, was admitting that. And now I'm just like, I'm a live wire when it comes to the Bible and studies and classes, and I'm reading books that, it's just, my life has definitely turned for the better.